Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day, wherever you are around the world. Hopefully, everyone's on a fantastic Friday, of course. And yeah, it's a little bit of a different video tonight. I know that, again, there's no Liverpool news to speak about. That'll be tomorrow's episode anyway. But I did want to do a video and speak mainly on, of course, England played last night. Obviously, disappointing results. If anyone supporting England this time around, clearly I'm not. But one thing that has annoyed me the last 24 hours has been the media, and when it comes to Trent Alexander-Arnold. I want to know everyone's thoughts on this as well, because again, it really frustrates me. I know probably I'm a bit biased when it comes towards Trent, but I do believe the media is using him as a scapegoat, is using him to try and drift, attention elsewhere, if that makes sense. For me, it's massively uncalled for, and it's certain individual people as well. Certainly in the sports media. Again, you look at the likes of Rio Ferdinand's a big one for this as well, which we'll get onto in a minute as well. But I think Trent's just genuinely been. What is the right word? He has been scapegoated in the media, and I don't think it's right, because you look at that England team yesterday, you look how they played. The first person that they analysed was straight away Trent Alexander-Arnold. Every single media source I've seen over the last 24 hours, because 48 hours then, but 24 hours, it's all been about Trent in the midfield. Not a word about Jude Bellingham, not a word about Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, Harry Kane, none of that, just straight towards Trent Alexander-Arnold. And for me, I don't think it's right. And look, people may disagree with that, and that's fair enough, but I feel like Trent wasn't the worst player on that pitch yesterday. Far from it, in my opinion. I think, again, we'll talk a bit about it. But for me, that England team's good enough to win all three of their games. And the whole, the whole agenda against Trent, for me, it's just laughable. And it truly, truly is laughable as well. But I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Well, if you're new around here as well, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, all that good stuff. Anyway, but John says England fans are so ungrateful. Trent is one of the players. Is one player, it is a team game. Yeah, 100%. 1,000% agree. But for me, I think that there is definitely more to discuss when it comes to Trent. And of course, people go on about the whole midfield debate. Is he a midfielder? Isn't he a midfielder? Look, you can be divided on that. Like, for me, do I think is Trent at his best when he's in midfield? No, I would agree with that. But if you're an England manager, you would somehow get away to fit Trent Alexander-Arnold in your team, and you would. There's no hiding around that. You would definitely try and find a way of getting Trent into a team. And for me, the biggest problem with that, though, as well, is just how people have gone about Trent. Because you look at England's team yesterday, and I've got a stat here about, again, no player created more chances or played more line-breaking passes in the final third for England against Denmark than Trent Alexander-Arnold, despite him being subbed off in the 54th minute. And the other thing as well, and the thing that's a bit annoyed me, is you look how compact this England team is. And again, that's on the manager. It's not against any particular player. It's, of course, against individual management systems. And for me, the biggest annoyance as well is England are currently playing Trent in such a horrific way. You're not going to get the best out of him. You're not going to get the best out of this England team. The big problem for me is trying to fit in Bellingham and Foden in this team, and I've got them here. For me, these are the problems this is why England are not performing great. Is because of Bellingham and Foden. And it's not saying they're not great players. It's not saying that they're not capable of being in the team, because they are. You know, every single player deserves to be in the team. But there is genuinely a conversation of one of them needs to be dropped. And the most likelihood of it being is, you know, it's going to be Phil Foden, because the way England play, the way England structure themselves, it's around Bellingham being in that 10. For me, England need width. They need, again, they've got an exceptional player who can scan the pitch and find a pass. Look at yesterday, the one big chance that Trent created towards Saka. You didn't see any other player trying to create that, you know, that type of pass. You know, you never saw anyone else trying to figure out something like that. And for me, it's laughable then when you've got, you know, the Rio Ferdinand saying on, I think it was on an interview, saying that other midfielders look at England's team when they see Trent and are laughing at it. And I'm like, what are you on about? Like, the disrespect on that is unreal. And the disrespect towards Trent and the other people in that team as well. Like, Trent's one of the best players in the world. And like I said, you try and fit them in teams. You try and fit them in whenever you can. And look, has the experiment failed? No, I don't think it has. Because, again, you're not playing Trent in his best position. The whole entire time yesterday, and again, you guys can go on social media, you can go and find out for yourselves, the amount of times England had the opportunity to start the build-up play with, you know, with Rice and Trent. So many times they went for long balls. I think the whole first half, I think Pickford does about 15 long balls towards Harry Kane. Never worked once. I think, to be fair, I think one time it worked. And that was it. It never worked. But then people then will go on to blame Trent for this. And I think that's wrong. And I want to know your guys' thoughts on it as well, because for me, I think it's laughable. I really do believe it's laughable. Anyway, but Doug's in saying Gareth Southgate has cursed this, caused this. Yeah, no, 100%. But this is the thing though, Doug, as well. For me, he's caused a problem in where, again, Trent will get called out when realistically people need to start speaking about the four in front of him. And this goes towards Declan Rice as well. You know, look, there's a reason why Arsenal wasn't playing Declan Rice as the 6 towards the back end of last season, because it didn't work. This is why Arsenal, they changed a few things. They brought in Jorginho in, played him as the 6, and then played Declan Rice off of him. That is what worked. Even if Trent was to go out of this team, that doesn't solve Declan Rice's problem then. You know, it probably makes it a bit worse in that sense. People go, oh, well, you've got actual midfielders playing in that pen. You've got Kobe Mainoo, you've got Adam Wharton as well, who could then slot into those positions. And you could, and they could perform better. But for me, the biggest problem with England, it's 2 or 3 things. It's Southgate's tactics, it's the players in front of him, and it's just the overall play of England, where England are the most boring team at the Euros, because they want to play long ball and then sit 10, 15 yards back when they score. Look at the 2 games. They were carbon copies of themselves. It wasn't like, oh, you know, we're going to change a few things. No, it was a carbon copy. England scored early, sat back 10, 15 yards, tried to absorb the pressure, and paid the price for it. And that's a tactical option for Gareth Southgate. That's what he has done. That's what he's implemented this team to do. And look, I think it's laughable. You know, it's really laughable, because then if Trent's not playing either, and this is the whole idea with the media as well, well, who are they going to blame next? Are they going to put Bukayo Saka on a load of newspapers again? Like, it's so stupid. Like, this England team is good enough to play its own capable football, and just playing such boring football. Like, you've got the most creative players from the Premier League, from Europe, playing in that England team. You've not got one player from that team who is failing in any way, if that makes sense. That might not make sense, but in my head it does. you've got Phil Foden, you've got Jude Bellingham, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, you've got Bukayo Saka, you've got Walker. The left back position as well is another one that, again, nobody's talking about. They'll briefly mention it, but why is Gareth Southgate taking a left back that's injured? It makes no sense. This is the other problem when you've got, the build-up play for England is awful. And look, I'm probably defending England more than I should be better. But why on earth are you taking a left back that's injured? Why are you not taking someone who has played all season? Look at Joe Gomez. And this is the thing: Joe Gomez would play a lot better than a Kieran Trippier at the World Cup, at the Euro. Sorry, he would. 100%, and there's no debate about that, in my opinion. It's so stupid that you're not having somebody who's played the majority of the season at left back, being really, really good, one of the best players in the league, and you're not playing that player because Kieran Trippier has been your guy for the last 5-6 years. Like, I don't know if I'm making sense of it, really. But for me, I can't stand when Trent is the only guy getting blamed. And I'd start him again, and that might be me. But give him, play the right tactics. Start Trent as the base six. Let him dictate the play. But they won't do that. And the way they want this team to be, yes, Trent's not going to fit it right, because again, you're asking him to be an 8, you're asking him to be this. Look at how good a Tony Cruz is, for example. Is Tony Cruz playing as an 8 in Germany, up against the midfield? No, he sat back in a 6 position, trying to look out the player and cause and allow then the other players to flourish. Allow Florian Wirtz or a Jamal Musiala to take charge and so on. That's what they need to do. That's what England need to adapt. They need, and Southgate himself, he needs to allow Trent Alexander-Arnold to be the guy in that team. Look, you look at, and Germany is such a perfect example of what they are doing at the minute. Again, you've got Kimmich, you've got Cruz. It's exactly the same as Rice and Trent. Tony Cruz is the base of that team. You put Trent as that base for that team, and he becomes unbelievable. And look, it's for me, it's very laughable, the fact that, again, that's all I've seen for the last 24 hours is Trent constantly gets slandered, and I think it's wrong. I really, really do. Tyrick Mitchell should have gone to the Euros. Most important left back for Palace. Taking Luke Shaw has proven to be a big mistake. Yeah, and it has been 100%. I think you look at England's build up. I'll get up the average positions again. Look how crowded that looks. Yesterday against Denmark, that looks horrific. You've got Walker trying to obviously go out. You've got Rice and Trent pretty much glued to each other. You got Foden and Bellingham pretty much glued to each other, and then Trippier just average left back position. Again, he should be where Walker is, but England can't do that because Trippier can't overlap, because once he does, he has to cut back inside and then again start the build up again, and that's another thing where, look, England are not going to, it's not like they're not going to qualify out the groups. They're going to win the group, or should win the group anyway, I should say. But it's just so funny how Foden's not getting criticised, Bellingham's not getting criticised either. The Kane, I've seen no, apart from Gary Lineker last night, I've not seen one media outlet, not one pundit come out and criticize Harry Kane, once. And I think I do think it's laughable. And look, the thing is, Trent could come back to Liverpool start next season, and again will be one of the best players in the world. And we've said this for years when we chat. If Trent was in a Brazil, if he was French, if he was Portuguese, any other nation, he would be the main guy in the team. Simple as I press the wrong button. He would be the main guy in the team, 100%. I have no doubts about that. I do think I just think it's really laughable. I really, really do. Anyway, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments anyway about it. Because look, yeah, people might have different opinions to me. They might do. For me, I do think he is massively being misjudged in what he's doing at the minute for the team. And look, that might just be me. People might agree, they might not agree. But for me, I think Trent should be the main guy for England. I think he should be finding a way better in this team. And I also do feel like, as well, the players in front of him, or the players in general, are not good enough at the moment in front of him. I would personally, I'd take out Foden for Anthony Gordon, add a bit of width in there. And, I've seen something yesterday where somebody said about the England fan they keep showing on, on the telly, has had more screen time than Cole Palmer has in 2 games for England. Why is he not getting used for England? To take, all right, if you're going to take Trent off for someone, surely you put Bellingham a bit deeper and start Cole Palmer, right? No, like the most English thing to do is think, no, we're not going to bring on an exciting, attacking midfielder. No, we're going to go on and bring on Conor Gallagher. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to have a go with Conor Gallagher, but for all the talent they've got in that team, and Gareth Southgate's first call is, yeah, let's start, or let's go with Conor Gallagher. Like, come on, like, seriously, you're seriously going to replace Trent with not even put Bellingham a bit deeper, and then try and get him more on the ball? You then go on to then, go try and then not put an attacking midfielder when you're trying to win the game as well, because that's England's big thing. They're trying to avoid Germany, because as soon as they play this Germany team, they're going to get battered everywhere. And that's the thing I just find a bit funny, a little bit for me anyway. But big about Anakin Skywalker. England setup has to build around Trent's setup play. He's the most pivotal player in England right now, but Southgate is just obviously too modern football. Yeah, but again, why would you do it? Hansen saying Brooke should be in the midfield. Poor management from Southgate, experimenting with this at this stage. But is it though? I get people frustrated that it's an experiment, and it is an experiment. Look, he's never played, in the midfield like he has done for England, and I can understand that. But the most infuriating thing watching that game yesterday, not even, like, again, I don't care what England do, I care what Liverpool players do. And the most frustrating thing was, why is Declan Rice at the base of that team? Arsenal did it and quickly changed their minds on it. Arteta saw it. Again, it didn't work. They brought Jorginho in to again start the phase of play. Declan Rice, sure, defensive 6 or defensive 8. That's fair enough. But Trent should be the base of that team to start the play. The amount of times watching that game, though, as well, like I said earlier on, about how Pickford just long balled it all the time. When you've got Rice and you've got Trent massively open to create something themselves, or to start a short build-up play, the amount of times was long ball, and it wasn't just Pickford, it was Walker as well. I think did it once or twice. Come on, again, that might be a bit arrogant in it, because again, we've seen so beautiful, we've seen short build-up play in that sense, and look, that might work, for other teams, but for England, they think different. But I don't know. For me, I think it's laughable, isn't it? Really is laughable. Ant says need Wharton at the base. He should be right back, but inverted. But again, that falls down to the management of it as well. But like I was saying earlier on, though, as well, if Trent goes out this team, and England then don't progress or don't look any better, who are they going to blame then? Are they going to start blaming Saka like they did the other day when the friendlies when England didn't win, and then all the newspaper was straight away got on about Saka. Like who's next? Like, at the end of the day, like, for me, this is the end of the road for Southgate. Personally, again, it will be. Anyway, I think he's going to go at the end of the tournament. But I think if any other manager comes in and they see the talent on this team, and they'll find a way of getting this England team performing a lot better than what you should be used to. Anyway, but that's just my thoughts. Every legend of the game, from Cafu to Busquets, has openly stated how they would have him over Walker. Yet I meant to listen to the United trio on BBC when they say he isn't good enough. Yeah, 100%. And look, again, Rio Ferdinand has been the biggest one going on about Trent. Him, Roy Keane, Neville. Neville's the one that does my head in, because he goes on about being positive about players and this, that, and the other. Like, again, you can constructively criticize players, and you can do, and I think that's right. But then when you full on go for them, I don't think that's right. And that's what Gary Neville did. And then once he had the backlash off of it, he tried to backtrack off of it. And it's just laughable, because, again, Gary Neville could and I've said this now. Gary Neville, when he was playing, again, was one of the best right backs in the Premier League. Today's football, he'd get more battered than what Trent does sometimes. And that's not even a debate. He would get slandered if he had to play against the players that of today. Easily would do. Again, freaking, he can't even, I don't even think now Gary Neville could put up with a 1v1 against Jamie Carragher, let alone friggin' a Vinny Jr. or Kvaratskhelia or whoever. Again, laughable. Anyway, but I'm saying Pickford's played more long balls yesterday than he does on average than for Everton. That points straight to Southgate. Yeah, no, it does, 100%. And again, tactical wise though, and again, Ant, you'll know, obviously you'll be a lot more invested than me in terms of England, because again, I'm not English, but I don't really care. But for me, I would drop Foden, or drop one of them, Bellingham or Foden, because that team does not work well together. Excuse me. It doesn't work with Foden on the left, Bellingham in the 10, because they both want to play the same position. Bellingham thinks he's at Real Madrid. Foden thinks he's at City. It's so bad to watch, and you can physically see the two of them wanting to play the same role. And I wouldn't say so much neither if they were, if they were interchanging with themselves, and you had Bellingham on the left, you had Foden in the 10, and they would switch now and again. But it's so bad. It's so bad to watch. But we should have moved on from him after the World Cup. Even Jose could win the Euros with this squad. I think that's going backwards, to be fair. Again, I wouldn't think that's going forwards, but I can see what you mean, 100%. But big up Daryl as well. Hope you're doing well, amazing. Any transfer news to Con? No. Again, links. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, probably at 7. Because we're most likely going to stay live at 7 probably throughout the Euros, because in between games, isn't it? But yeah, I think, again, we've been linked with Nico Williams today from Atletico Bilbao. Was there another rumour? Again, talks about Lenny Euro, but still the same old crap. 3 teams interested. United supposedly put him high on their list, and this, that, and the other. There was something as well saying that Madrid can't afford 50 million after Mbappe. So don't know how true that is, but again, we'll speak more about it tomorrow. Anyway, Daryl. But big up coming in as well. I'm not invested at all. No, you should be invested in Steve Cooper. What on earth happened there? You went from 2 progressive managers to Steve Cooper. He's a decent manager, but what happened there, Anthony? But I find Rio much more annoying. I won't say that word. I couldn't manage because of a brewery yet. He meant to know how England should set up in the modern game. Absolute Yeah, 100% agree with that. From 1 to 11, everyone has been painful to watch. True. Again, I said it earlier. England have been the worst team of the Euros. Like, there's so much been worse. But we'll end up with Fofana cheap signing. No, we won't. Look, there's a reason why we've been linked with so many people as of late. There's no leaks coming from Liverpool like it was 12 months ago when Liverpool, we were supposedly meant to go after Manu Kone, Kefren Turam, then obviously McAllister, Szoboszlai. Like, all the leaks were coming out last year. You're not getting any under Michael Edwards and so on. This is why if Ornstein tweets something, it's straight from the football club, because again, Ornstein's the number one guy anyway for everyone. But Liverpool now will keep it so in-house, it'll just be a complete shock when we do go on to sign someone. Of course, we could be linked. Like, again, the Lenny Euro stuff, I do believe Liverpool are interested in him. I think Liverpool want him, but it's again where we are just waiting on Real Madrid and see what they do. If Madrid turn around and say they can't afford him or don't want him, there'll be other teams that will go for him. But again, it then depends on Euro himself, because he could then turn around and go, oh yeah, I want to stay at Lille for a year, could then end up leaving then on a free next year to Real Madrid, and that is what they would love. They would more than love to get him for a free, wouldn't they? But yeah, I don't think we'll be there anyway. Nico should be our number one target right now. 49 million is a steal, even if it doesn't work out in the long run. Again, might happen. But another one as well, where I think he's on 200 grand a week at Bilbao. I don't know whether, again, it's weird in Spain, isn't it? Because of the taxes and so on. So they end up doing certain things. But I think his first preference will be to stay in Spain, whether that's at Bilbao or Barcelona. Apparently, Barcelona want Luis Diaz. So if they do, then Liverpool could go for Nico Williams if they wanted to. But Steve Cooper, shithouse Fox says, only silver lining is Scotland has been worse. Don't tell Doug that. Anyway, but with Diaz, I'd happily take Buckhola plus 40 million. We know they're struggling for cash, might be able to rinse them, considering Lucho is their number one target this window. Again, would rather Nico Williams. I think, again, I think one team that's been a real shock as well. I'll get back to your comment now, Darryl. But the one team that's been a real shock, I think Spain. Spain have gone really much under the radar at the Euros. We might do a Euro show altogether. Might get a couple of people on speaking about it. But yes, I think Spain have been one of the quality teams. Like last night, they beat Italy, and they battered Italy. I know it was only 1-0, but the front line. If Spain had a striker, like a better striker than Morata, like that front three, Lenny Euro and Lamine Yamal, sorry, and Nico Williams, that would be one hell of a front three. Anyway, but Edison's gone quiet. It could be him. No, I don't think so, personally. Darryl, I don't think he's leaving Atalanta, if I'm honest. I think Holland beat France tonight. Well, I think France are without Mbappe, aren't they? So we will soon see. Anyway, but I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyway, again, I just wanted to get, that the whole Trent thing off my chest, because again, it does annoy me when, again, the media goes straight towards Trent and say he's the problem. Again, I think he's very low on the list of the things that are wrong currently with England, personally. Again, I think the whole the whole thing around Foden, Kane, Saka, Bellingham, those four need to be doing a lot better. I think the whole setup needs to be a lot better as well from Gareth Southgate. I think then you can then speak about Trent then. But again, we will soon see anyway. But yeah, tomorrow at 7, guys, will be the transfer show. We'll talk about all the latest news. We'll speak about that. Anyway, or if there's anything else, we'll speak about tomorrow. Of course, if you're not following us on Twitter, then follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you call it now. Again, you know when we go live or whenever. Or we might, I need to start posting more on the community tab as well. But I agree, and Nico would be, or Nico would be my target, but we could always try and get both. Diaz has 1 foot out the door, and Salah only has 1 year left on his deal. So I think we need to start stacking up more options. True, I would agree. United have agreed terms with Xerxes, is there? Again, I know he's had a good season last year, but I haven't seen much more on him anyway. But we're going to leave it there anyway. Big up to everyone for commenting and liking, sharing, and subscribing as well. If you are new around here, hit that like button. Very much appreciated as always. Again, if you want to check out any other videos as well, of course, we did a slot video yesterday, was it? Or 2 days ago. So if you guys want to go and check that out, it'd be very much appreciated as always. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I know plenty of people watch on the repeat as well, because I want to know everyone's thoughts as well. And I would quickly reply to you as well. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cock Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.